Hello again, class. This is another video in regards to the web design online course. Specifically, this one is for you, Noah, as you should have received my email in regards to the game review. It is up and running. When you actually sign into that account, you will be presented this backend of WordPress. And this is what it's going to look like, and this is where we're going to do most of our work. So just give you an idea of what it looks like. You will have a dashboard, and the dashboard is basically just a hub at a glance, identifying how many posts, comments, or pages are currently up. It will also present to you what is the current WordPress theme. When we install WordPress, it actually defaults into 2016 theme. On this left panel here will be the items of interest that we're going to be working with. I'm going to go through a couple of those, or a few of those, and let you have an idea of what we're at. The main goal for this week was essentially have it up and running and implemented. But more importantly, I want you to get your fingers into here. Do not be afraid to break it, because in all honesty, with everything else, that's how you learn. So don't be afraid of it, Noah. So on the post, we have the options of all post, add new categories, add tags. On the front end of the internet, on the websites, you basically will only see the articles presented to you, or the public. But here on the back end is actually where you do the write-up of the post. It defaults currently with the hello world that's on there. If I look at the game review.co.us, it defaults into the 2016 theme, and here is our initial article it provides us. Hello world, the one comment, the article post itself, and just a little bit on the side. If we open this up on the post, we do see the hello world. Here is the text box of where we actually put the article in place. You have two options on the side, a visual and a text. The difference between the two is the visual is a more of as you see it online, and the text allows you to go in and actually add in HTML and coding, that type of stuff. We'll go into some of the HTML, but just to give you an idea on how links and stuff works, here's just a quick example. A href, let's say test. So within the text, you would put in the coding per se, but then on the visual side, you would actually see what everybody else sees online. Also, upon updating and saving your post, you will also be presented with a link, and these links can also be seen when you actually go onto the website. So anyway, that's the add new. The categories are the means to obviously categorize the articles themselves. It defaults into one uncategorized. You cannot get rid of this, but you can rename it to something similar to default or something of that nature. But as an example, you're doing a game review website. So what you might want is individual categories such as specific platforms like Xbox, PS4, PS3, Nintendo, or you may want to restructure your website into specific categories like current news, opinions, blog, etc. It all depends on how you're wanting to set up the web design and how you're wanting other people online to be able to go through your website more easily. As you add new categories, you can also place it under parents, and these would be subcategories. The tags are basically just an easy method to identify those articles. As you go onto the internet search engine like Google, Yahoo, etc., you're actually putting in the specific words of interest that you're searching for. These are the tags. Tags basically help the internet search engine identify your article out of all the other articles that are not within the parameter that we're looking for. So that's tags. As we go down, we see media also. So media is basically all the pictures that you can upload into the website and then apply those pictures onto your articles and post. That way too, once you put a media or a picture on here, you'll be presented on the right hand side an actual link to that picture. So in other words, if you have a specific picture, a profile, etc., you don't have to continue to re-upload that same picture for every article. You can just go in here on your media library or bin, and you could pull that link and use that link on your post text area. Alright. Pages are a bit different than post. Post, as you notice, had categories that you can assign under and help structure your website. Pages are URL specific. There are no categories or are able to categorize pages. A lot of times what they'll do is you'll see that if you go onto a website it has the exact same look, same information, that would be a page. Then most likely they would say or refer to as a landing page, meaning that whenever they go visit a website they will land on that specific page every time. Again, it differs upon website and the person creating it and how you want others to view your design. The comments section is the everywhere that an article is somebody puts a comment onto. By default in WordPress, most likely you will have to approve that comment, and this is where you would find those comments. You would also see a number up here as the comments increase to give you an indication that there's comments waiting to be approved. This particular comment, this is a comment to get started, blah blah blah, is a default in to give you an idea what it looks like. So if we go into the front end where everybody sees our original article is given to us, you see there's one comment, and we can click on that comment, and again, similar to the article, you see within the text box of what was stated on that comment. Same thing here. Okay, and you will get a lot of spam. Spam is referred to as junk mail or people attempting to sell you items or items of interest that you have no relation whatsoever in regards to your website. The appearance is basically your website in itself. The themes, customize that theme. Widgets is basically an add-in onto your web design. People create widgets and plugins specifically to assist you or the user to make it a lot easier to traverse through your website. Menus are basically like the pull down menus or categories. The header is the top part of your website. You can actually put in a specific image or something of that nature to call upon your own. The background can be a specific color, or as I've seen others have specific images as the background. The premium themes are themes that are actually paid for themes. We won't get into those because honestly there are so many free themes that we can utilize. There won't be any necessary for us to pay for anything during this whole course. And the editor is basically another way to get into and edit that theme or that website. As I mentioned before, the plugins is just a kind of a plug and play, if you will. If you go in and look at the installed plugins, there are some that are already given to us, and it gives a prior description of what these plugins do for us. And we will acquire plugins, but again, there's a lot of free ones out there that we can use, and you'll see that even in the classes subdomain that I have. The plugin would be a calendar. A plugin might be the forum that we're utilizing. That's an actual plugin widget to be used. But we can look through those and find different items of interest that might assist us or assist our users that are visiting your website. Speaking of users, every time somebody goes in and register to your website, they will have to sign up for it per se. And upon default, the role is just giving them, I'll show you what it looks like. Upon role, the default is a subscriber. As you notice here, I have actually updated you as an administrator already. prior to sending the email out yesterday. And the reason is because as an administrator, you have access to everything that you see me showing you on this video. And you can update your profile accordingly as well. There's a lot of websites out there that actually a lot of people contribute articles, meaning that they don't have access to the whole thing. But if you have a friend that wants to also write or post articles onto your website, you can assign them as a contributor, and they'll allow them to have access to placing posts or pages onto your website without having the access to get in and monkey around with everything else. It's a security feature on all of these. The tools are import and export. We really won't get into it during this course. And the settings is just a general settings of the site itself as well. But this is kind of a brief overview of all the available items on the panel on the left hand side. This will be what you're going to be primarily into, Noah, on this course. So what I would like for you to do is go ahead and make sure you are able to sign in and able to access all of these, and go ahead and place a post or two just to get a feel of it. So if you go ahead and jump in here and you want to go ahead and change the view of this particular website already, you can go into and choose appearance and themes. And within this themes, you have 3 that has been defaulted to us to choose from, and you can do an search and install theme, but you don't need to do that. What I'd like for you to do when you're ready, you notice this comment, your site's currently coming soon page. Anybody else that goes in and looks at it, they're not going to see your website just yet. I want you to do an add new theme here, and what it'll do is look up all these current WordPress themes that's available, and what you can do is either choose popular, latest, or favorite, and it gives you an idea of what it might look like, and just kind of browse through there, and if you see one of interest, go ahead and click on it and install. Okay, you can also do a search themes over here on the top right. Let's just choose game as an example, and you might be able to pull up some themes that are game centric per se, and if you like it, go ahead and choose install and then activate it. There's no reason for you not to go ahead and jump in here and do that. And don't be worried about accidentally buying something, because if it's a purchased item, it'll specifically say so how much it is. But all these are free to use. And I want you to go in, as I said before, get your fingers into it. Don't be afraid of it. And let me know what you think. And more importantly, get back to me to ensure that you have access and that you have looked around a bit. Thanks.